Vanakkam, Vandanam, Namaste. Thanks to Vareva Chef who made it more common usage in all his videos, which is a good greet. Yes, as you have seen, I am here and my heart is here with my brothers and sisters back home. Yeah, why I am taking this up? Because I came across some article which was bothering me for last couple of days. So if not us, and if we know something, why don't we share some information to make it better for everyone? So this is the article which is New York Times published on 3 days back. So India passes 1 million cases, and they made a big full cover page out of it. I don't know what they were trying to make out of it. But the point is, they have interesting observations by healthcare professionals from India, and also one study from MIT. It specifically says that India is going to be the worst hit nation by the year end, by in end of next year. And currently, we have already more than 25,000 deaths. Getting in all the data in is difficult given that we have this number. So think of 100,000 deaths when we shouldn't be losing even one life, because that's what one of the treatment shows. So why are we not putting in practice? So we wanted to understand what is the strength we have, but how it has been a weakness because the way we treat the strength is not correct. So that's what we wanted to focus in. So one of the reason that happens is when someone says it's a traditional medicine is being the strength, and which is also the weakness in the way we treat. And when we say it's a trump card, everyone says, oh, kya bakwas kar raha, there is no science to it. Everyone in the world is struggling. Why would someone how would be someone be able to figure this out? So we have to look into the details and have a better understanding of how these things happen. Okay, so let me share some details what I gathered. Yes, the treatment which is Siddha is mostly practiced in southern part of India, Tamil Nadu, and it's sometimes also synonymous with called Tamil medicine. But there are many forms of Tamil medicine, so not to confuse, Siddha is Siddha. So it is part of the government-run body, Ayush, and all the medications practiced in Tamil Nadu are as part of Siddha complies to Ayush norms, and it's every medicine given is safe because it's time tested. Most of them it's pan derivative, and it has also metal derivatives, but it's all been in use and approved for safe usage for last 60-70 years. At least from when we are India, and it has been always in practice from time immemorial. So there is nothing new, but Siddha has been very old, but it has been able to deal with it safely. So the one interesting thing is, how did the Siddha doctors figure this out? So it's nothing, the similarity on the diseases they have been treating, and it's all in manuscripts. So we all think the old wisdom is not documented, but that's, I will come back at the end of the how well the documentation is. It's just we don't read those and we assume that that nothing exists. So this is one of the disease, and what they have given the symptoms, what happens, and that exactly coincides with the, at least in April, what was published for smell and taste dysfunction in patients with COVID-19. So that is not just smell and taste, but the disease comparison is completely matching with all kind of symptoms. So we have a silent killer now, but we need to definitely treat. We can handle it. How, we'll see in details. So the analogy has been coming in from the disease which was documented early, the symptoms, and what was the medicine given is exactly or very close to what we face in COVID. So how did they know about these diseases that time itself? God only knows, but they knew, and they had figured out a way to tackle it. So we'll just focus on the symptom and the Kabasura Kudineer, which has been the talk of the town, which can be very well used, and it's been very much in circulation. And some of the Supreme Court judges have been also been questioning why it has not been in use in Delhi. And when in Delhi, there are 6 Siddha doctors in the central PMO office or Rashtrapati Bhavan, but they are not even able to go and help the Delhi government hospitals. It's so much pathetic stage that we don't believe in ourselves, and government appointed doctors are not able to treat the place where they live in case of such severe need too. So, so Kabasuri need Kudineer has been very effective, and there are a lot of other things also. So it's not one thing solves all, but there are multiple combination of things. I'm not getting into all the details, but there is a lot of science behind it, and we have tried to comprehend it. So the one of the problems what we don't understand how it works, so we thought it's not true. But now, since with the situation, we are able to estimate and look into details with the modern technology available. So one of the things is proving is it's truly a trump card. So one of the other things which it had been dealing with, you might have heard about placebo effect. I'll come back to that. That is one of the ways we all, the Siddha, other than just the medicine, it also believes in the other ancillary things, peripheral things, what importance is being given. So just look at this video for a second, where you can see people are playing around. It's like a normal cricket and a park, which where things are going on. So we might be thinking it's like a local playground, and how come people are so careless and not bothered. And but it's actually a corona care center. I was surprised first time seeing this, what is going on. So basically the system believes in keeping the physical fitness, and also relieve them of stress and the mental, they need to be mentally fit. The one other thing which modern science, I think Harvard released a study, it's called placebo effect, that body cures, has more power to cure itself, but we need to aid with positivity and physical and mental fitness. That's what Siddha also is taking advantage of. There is no harm in taking advantage of something additional, right? So getting back into the science part of it, so one of the things which, there are 2 papers which I'm going to look at, I'm going to just explain about. So this is a journal. We would always love to hear from someone in Western country, but at least it will soon, Western world will realize. But I think the more time we waste, let's just make the understand the crux of it and make use of it. So in here, this article discuss about the, what is the protein which is called a spike glycoprotein, which helps the virus to attach to the human cells and then destroy them, or cause harm to it. So the spike protein has been an important target for binding into the host cell. What we are seeing in case of the Siddha treatment is, it has the chemical components, what they call it, the phytoconstituents of the Siddha medicine is these 3 chemical components: chrysorial and luteolin and quercetin. So in short form, they will have called some as Kabasura Churanam, I believe. But what it is essentially doing it is, it's not allowing the spike protein, it's going against the spike protein and not allows to attach to the host cell. So this is one thing. And the second thing, what is happening is, there are some enzymes what the virus needs to thrive on from the human body. So that's what these 2 are the enzymes, RNA main protease and RNA dependent RNA polymerase. These are the enzymes which the human body makes it easier for coronavirus to thrive on. But the constituents like beta, all the other chemicals, you can read through it, which are from the normal biological preparations, most of the plant extracts. This is able to solve, it is able to decrease the enzymes in the body by which the corona has limited things to thrive on. So these are two sides of the things, how exactly it's being effective, which we are able to understand. But there may be many other things which we are still to uncover. But the end output, as I said, is in the first center 1150 out 1150, 100% faster cure, meaning faster they were able to come out of COVID. And then another 1600 today in the second center they are able to come out without any mortality, which is very, very important to note. And then the important aspect is how it might be harmful to the body. How come we know it's all? So as I said many times or couple of times, that it's all time tested medicine, nothing is given new. And if you see here, these are the ingredients of one of the Kabasura Kudineer, which is being there. So we all might have consumed at some point of time or other, at least you would have been aware of what it is. That's how it makes it safer, because it's time tested and it's not like something you're trying it for the first time, and it's not like first time some human is using. This has been used for several medicines and several diseases. You can get into more details, get with, he's one of my friend, whose video was helpful to understand the other side, unknown side of the Siddha Kudineer. So we need to, he is in Manipal, so any government or anyone can make use of him. He is a very good resource and he had been working very hard to uncover the details. So getting to the next point, so what is the weakness? So these are all the strengths. We have medicine, we have a system which they figured it out. So what is it making it challenging? So let's go back to, so I spoke about this research paper in specific already, but the main thing we want to focus is, one of the thing is Ayush, who has a big role to play in coming days. So it's just the allopathy doctors should understand these technicalities and the effectiveness and need to cooperate and work with them. I'm just showing this data from 2012. I hope this has doubled in the last close to 9 years. But if not, pity on us why we are not investing in our ancient knowledge system, which comes in so handy even in the pandemic situations. So it's close to 10,000 centers where there is some kind of Ayush person or facility co-located. So we should take advantage of it. So that's the reason I was trying to show that what role they have to play, because Ayush is the one handling Siddha too, and it's one of the main things. But on the pity, I don't know how this happened, but it's not propagating, so we need to change it. So I'm even looking at the Ayush website. I can show thousands of articles and other patient testimonials on what is going in COVID, but our homepage on COVID, this is what I find, and I don't see any of this being the real thing which is being in practice as per Ayush guidelines. So pity on us, we ourselves don't speak about the strength of what we have and the departments which are to handle. If you look at the guidelines for practitioners, they have given it, but we have to go in and see it. So if someone want to know what is the official guidelines, here is the, so if you click on the Siddha guidelines, this is a complete documentation. As I was trying to tell you earlier, this is exactly what is being practiced in Tamil Nadu too. It's not something which has been trying to be kept secretive. It's all public. That's one of the reasons I have my concerns against the pharma companies, even though this is all working and they are saying, and the Novartis CEO is a Tamilian too, and he is a global CEO, but there is not interest shown, and we don't understand the value of our own medicine. I understand, so because it's all public, no one can patent it and charge a royalty, but everyone would be able to ready to pay for any kind of medicine. So why don't they get into manufacturing and make it more accessible for the the global population who is affected, yes, they have to go through trials and make it perfect, but why are they not investing time and money on this? Because I think it's just greed which is stopping everyone, because everyone wants to know something unique so that they can make more money instead of using a known working solution. Instead, they just belittle the working solution, saying for it's not science, which is we can prove that it's 100% science if you put time and money into it. And in this case, it's more easier than, so you have all the references, this documentation, how it was prepared on. So it's not like someone is throwing out of thin air, pulling something and trying to make everyone believe. So it's not like someone, this is the Government of India website and it's Ayush Ministry's guidelines how to use Siddha during the COVID. So you can access this document from the Ayush website. Again, it is in the practitioners guidelines, Siddha guidelines. I hope the more whatever is working is also given importance in this website, and the media and doctors give importance to this. The next thing I was also trying to say is there is a COVID dashboard, same issue here. I don't see anything saying that what is working, what is not working. I don't know why Tamil Nadu government should only tell it's working when it could benefit the whole of India, and eventually if India it's been used, it will be benefiting the whole humanity. So we need to be, when things are working in Tamil Nadu, why shouldn't that be used in all over India? And also another thing which worries is, I looked at the Ayush research, and when people are questioning and everyone is going to question, if you look at the ongoing projects, when so many things are going on in Tamil Nadu itself and also many other parts of the country, I think, but because in Tirupati they were using this and many other institutions, I don't understand why AIIMS or JIPMER or any premier institutes are not looking into it or giving any cooperation. They should be the one helping the public to get belief in things through the proper documentation, validating the findings, instead of me trying to validate and tell why it works, why it's right, and what is the back end of it. So we should have the right authorities to be mobilized. That's a request. That's the reason I was making sure. And coming back to the researches ongoing in COVID, I don't see any one research supported, at least in this, what as per their website, when everything is revolving, and that has been the most effective. Siddha has been the most effective in the tool which they can bank on. Why not even one research being supported by Ayush, which is supposed to take care of this and promote and also find out the right information? So if you don't, the reason for Siddha not able to sustain itself is we are not making it a viable option for public to consume, because we are not publishing information in a way where in the modern times it will be accepted, even though we have all the information and we know it is safe and it has been time tested, which is approved and by the same ministry who are supposed to give the guidelines. So it's really pity on us. I hope at least now there is proper funding given for Siddha research, so that these things can be, so we don't get into the situation of 3 months or 4 months down the line, we have to face the situation of we could have saved at least 25,000 lives, at least 20,000 lives if we had been proactive, because all the guidelines were provided in April of 2020. So we could have, I think the most of the deaths would have happened after that. So to be specific, this is the symptoms and this is the medicine, the intervention what they are prescribing, and these all should be easily available at this point. And at some point it will be difficult because all spices and biological ingredients, so no one would have foreseen. So I would request proper planning by the government authorities to make sure these things, the ingredients are made available in when there is a need. So this point was just everyone needs to come together. And one of the cool things which I noticed is And every state there should be Ayush body, and also Siddha should be one of the main things. But what I find is all of them are focused in Tamil Nadu, when the benefits of all these medicines should reach nook and corner of all over India. But Siddha is reaching only Tamil Nadu, and so it's not been, there has not been more postings all over India. That's one of the challenges. People can't use it readily. So I request, there are 6,000 Siddha doctors in Tamil Nadu alone, and out of which 1,000 might be in government duty or government occupation, but many would be, as your I saw a temporary posting contractors for Ayush doctors. For Nagaland, around 25-30 of them. So why don't we do that on an urgent basis to employ these people and contract them and put them in service, especially Delhi and wherever this is going in a big way affecting. We should try to see. I just request the government of India to give importance to this and make use of the resources which is within our control, and take stock of the situation and not allow what the MIT things would happen. So we have a goal, as they said, the trump card in our hand. So what I feel myself is, a bird in hand is better than two in bush, is the old saying, but we don't realize that what we have in hand, and we are always waiting for some other Oxford or some other Western companies to find out a drug, which is pity on us. Let's value ourselves, and I don't see any reason, whether it's as far as I was able to speak through any doctors, Siddha doctors or any doctors, they had all valid reasons to ensure that, since it's always in practice, nothing, and it was always used on humans, and there was no side effects, and it's been, when it's been effective and no death rate, why shouldn't we use it? And something interesting I was going to tell about the AP government website. This is a trigger point always. Why, how one system of medicine can figure this out? So if you see the time points when different systems evolved, so you can clearly see 5000 BC, still it makes out 7000 years, right? But see how Siddha goes back, and it's not from Tamil Nadu government website where there is anything to promote themselves. This is from time tested, and this is what normally the basis of Siddha medicine. So the point is, it's way back in time. People have put in so much effort to figure this out and documented in manuscripts. And also, one other thing, we think that we were all illiterate and not aware of anything. That's another sad story where we don't understand the value of ourselves. I think I saw a note on a NCRT book where we were being quoted like, people 100 years back, where did they live in? We don't have a proper understanding. But I will just point this to one other thing to emphasize the vast knowledge which has been gathered. This is a Keeladi photo from ASI, so it's not again a Tamil Nadu government photo which is being altered or anything. So the questions were, where the right answer was given was, they are using tree leaves to cover themselves and build houses out of hut. But the fact is, that's how we were deprived of our knowledge and resources, and we were pushed to that. But the original fact you can see in this Keeladi documentation is completely a different world. So this is 2700 years back. They had drains built out of brick. Why wouldn't they have brick for their houses? This is a brick drain 2500 years back, 2500 years back. And they had some kind of furnace, so they know metallurgy, how to use metals, where to find metals, how can they better make use out of it. Why would they have smelting furnaces? And they had clear wares which was perfect shaped with all inscription, all the letters and engravings in it. So this is a script. This leads to another thing. Why the Tamil script and Tamil comes into picture in anywhere when we speak about what should be our national pride. Tamil should be our national pride. why not? Because if you see here, they had all Roman trade before 2500 years. One of the reasons I was brought up, I was born in kind of, early childhood was in Delhi, then I was in Ranchi, so I had zero knowledge about these things because none of the books I studied had given any information about the Indian civilization's stronghold, and that also down south, how advanced they were. No one spoke about this. So the important point I wanted to make is we ourselves are not educating us and not sharing the right information to our kids and passing on to generation. So we look upon ourselves as fools, and then the Western world is one who invented everything. Definitely not. See, and one other thing why Tamil stands out, because as you said in Siddha, it has been from time immemorial, same thing is happening here. So we think there is no documentation. I have personally visited, there is an Oriental Manuscript Library in Chennai. Now it's in the Anna, it has been moved to the Anna Library, but earlier it was in Madras University campus. So Britishers, whatever we curse them, they did a good job of collecting all the ancient wisdom, and might be they had vested interest to use it for their benefit because it had all the findings. But regardless, we do have some left after what they have taken out. That's where this Siddha medicine, and there are more kind of manuscripts dealing with this information. That's where the earlier medicine and information has been captured. So if you're wondering where from it came, it is very well documented. So as expected, because it's from the Tamil civilization started evolving much earlier, they have the most manuscripts, most manuscripts found in Tamil. Not only manuscripts, if you see if manuscripts is something unique, which might be, we can think not all over the India it was happening. Even the inscriptions, it shows the same thing. More than close to 50% of all inscriptions which have been found are, so most like 20,000 are in Tamil, and next comes Kannada, next comes Sanskrit, and next comes Telugu. So why wouldn't we give importance to these languages where things have been very well documented? So if some other languages should be given the importance, why don't we have anything to support the documentation? Why all over India Tamil inscriptions are found? So we need to understand what has happened, why it has been prevalent, and why people try to tell, hey, don't wipe it out, because we are going to lose all the wisdom if you just ignore these things, and nothing will happen. So we'll lose all the knowledge and wisdom which has been saved in manuscripts and inscriptions and different forms. So that's one of the reasons we need to value each of us. So I mentioned about the Rome connection. So here is an archaeological excavation in Tamil Nadu, and you can see clearly the Roman potteries which are available 2000 to or 1800 years back, and in Keeladi it is 2700 years back. So they're proper, it's all properly documented, and all the references, if you see here, it speaks about, in this page at least, Roman sites in Tamil Nadu. Roman trading port in Indian archaeological, which is Alangulam, which is one of the oldest Pandya period port. Roman Karur. So everything speaks about Roman link. Why do the Romans come to a place 2000 years back if 100 years back we were in primitive stage? And why would there be so much development in there which had all the trade links with them? And it's all Roman pottery, and especially it's not amphora ware. Most of the, many of the potteries which were used in Keeladi kind of places. So we should try to understand and give credit to all the historical and the knowledge, and try to research more and substantiate more, And this is one of the books which I could buy from the Oriental Manuscript Library, where from the manuscripts, this is Tamil medicine book. So it was done in 1903. They collected and documented these things. So there is a lot and lot of information. So we just need to believe in our system and start looking at it. Obviously, it has a lot of credits to it. So we need to make sure we safeguard our system's knowledge and first of all make use out of it for our own benefit first, and then we can take it globally. Thanks